So I wanted to talk a little bit about my inner transformation technique. Um, so many people have said, I don't want to go deal with my emotions. Don't, drag me into reliving something from the past. It's bad enough I have to deal with my emotions daily, let alone going back into the past and digging up something and reliving it. Um, Unfortunately, emotions are going to continue to come up over and over and over again until they're either healed, integrated, transmuted, um, or your particular lesson that you need to get from them is actually heard and applied. So, the inner transformation technique that I cannot claim I created, I feel more like I had this calling to help others with what I had learned. And when I decided to create a course to do so, I had no idea how that was going to play out. And honestly, it was the first time that I really knew what faith meant. I got some people to sign up for my course, and I hadn't created it. And I was committed to creating a new experiential exercise for them every single week that over time, put all those together, you have the inner transformation technique. And I purposely wanted it to happen that way. Having been an artist, a professional artist for 30 years, I noticed that everybody uses their tools differently. So I was sculpting cement, and while sculpting cement, I might pick up a trowel or a carving tool and create uh, a rock. And someone else might use those same tools to create a tree, but they may use a different tool to create a rock than I would. So I wanted to make sure that all of these pieces to this technique could be customized for each individual person in whatever way works best for them. And I've noticed too that very often when I'm working with a client or even myself with this technique, some of those pieces come in sometimes, some of them don't, and sometimes they're all there and sometimes they're not, and new things come in as long as you're open and curious. And so building on, someone could take what I teach them about the inner transformation technique and they could build on it and create parts of that for themselves that I may never ever create. But where faith came in was I had no idea what I was going to do each week, but I just knew that I was being called to do this. And so I put faith in the fact that I would be provided with an idea or an exercise for each week. And I was. And it was a phenomenal experience to put myself in that position of taking a step and not knowing if something was going to be under my foot or not. Um, and so it was more like downloads. I'd either wake up with the whole experiential exercise to give someone, or I would be meditating and the idea would come to me, or I'd just be sitting out in nature, watching, the squirrels and the wind blow through the leaves, and an idea would come and it would just drop in. It wasn't like I was thinking about it, trying to pull it in. Granted, my whole being was focused on creating that course throughout this period of time, but I wasn't trying to make it happen. I was just knowing that before the next day that I needed to present, I would have what I needed. And it happened that way. And it turned out to be a phenomenal technique at the end of it all. And it really does show what I learned over all these years and what I've been using for myself to propel myself forward with ease and grace. So, the technique, a little bit more about the technique, is that you don't have to relive the emotional stuff necessarily in the same way. It's not like if you had a trauma happened, you're not reliving that trauma in the same way to the same degree. We have other abilities that the technique can show you as well of pulling yourself into an observer state so that you, the adult version of you, is not reliving that. Um, the younger version of you and you are two different entities, though you're the same and you're intermingled and everything, but in the technique process, you're two different entities. It's more like you're there to allow that younger version of you, if the technique takes you here. Like the technique can take you anywhere. There's all kinds of places to go. That's why I call it an emotional wonderland, because it's so exciting now for me to go there now that I feel comfortable and safe there and I have the tools and I know how to navigate. It's fun for me to go there and discover what I can discover, because I know that I'm going to feel so much better after I work with these energies and help them understand that the adult version of me now has much more information that that younger version of me that's being held statically in time in that moment does not have. And in communication, whether it be with a younger version of you, with someone from your past that may be here physically or maybe in spirit, everything is energy. So anything's possible. I've had clients speak with dead people. I've had clients speak with younger versions of themselves. I've had clients speak with what there was no younger version, nothing recognizable, but it was like an energy of an emotion that they spoke with, and things have just healed or transmuted or integrated. And then they find themselves going through their days after this transformation technique process, doing things very comfortably, doing things that they wouldn't have done before. They've done them with ease, and they might even not even realize it at the time. And then like 2 days later, 2 weeks later, they go, oh my gosh, I just did that thing that I haven't been able to do for 30 years. I just did it and I didn't even think about it, and I did it well and it was easy. And that's the beauty of this technique. It is not about reliving your most difficult moments. That's not it. It's more about reclaiming your power and showing up for yourself in a new way and going into your internal world to do that and to show these aspects of you that you might be ignoring, repressing, pushing away, that you hear them, you appreciate them bringing you a message, you want to share with them your new information, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's actually incredibly loving, super gentle. It's all about you. If you worked with me, I would literally be a navigator or a guide. You do all the work. You're the one getting the information from your own system. So it's your experience, not mine. And I am there to not only guide you, but if something does come up, help you talk through it, ask the right questions so that you can come to the conclusion that you need, not the one that I might think of, or I usually try not to think of anything really. I'm literally there as your guide. And once you learn the technique and you practice it enough, you can do it for yourself while you're driving or, anywhere really, as long as you can focus enough on what you're doing without causing harm to anyone else. Um, so I just wanted to explain that a little bit. It's currently called the Inner Transformation Technique, only because I haven't been given a download of a name or any other idea for it. But that's what it does. You go into your inner world and you transform it, and that transforms you and how you respond to your outer world. And it's gentle, loving, easy. And I know it's hard to believe, but it's fun. I love doing it now. It's actually a lot of fun and it feels so good and loving. And yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. So I just wanted to explain that a little bit. I had a question about if I had discovered a way to handle my emotions. And yes, I absolutely have. And I'm sharing that now. I share it in one-on-one coaching. I do courses also that actually teaches you, gives you all the pieces to this technique. And at the end, you can use it in whatever way works best for you. And there are other options too that are along that journey that you can keep going and keep learning. So that's what it's called, the Inner Transformation Technique. It's phenomenal. Great way to heal and get past some blocks and some stuck areas and some emotions that keep coming up and nagging at you, even things like overwhelm. You can use it every day for emotions that are coming up that you're noticing a pattern or anything. I can't say enough. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal process, and it's so fun. So, of course, if you want to get in touch with me, I am going to put that information in my bio or somewhere on my YouTube. You can find it, and hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to you and meet you. Take care.